All right, so today we're jumping into something huge. A really transformative idea in the world of finance called DeFi. Think about it. It's a vision for rebuilding our entire financial system, from the ground up. But here's the kicker. The one massive difference. No banks. So what does that actually mean? Let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with a really big question. One that gets right to the core of what this is all about. What if you could be your own bank? I mean, really think about that. What if you could completely control your own money? Not just, hold it in an account, but lend it out, borrow against it, invest it, and do all of that without ever asking a bank for permission. Wild, right?
Well, that's pretty much the whole idea behind DeFi. It's basically a bunch of financial apps that are built on public blockchains. Think Ethereum, for example. And the most important thing to get here is that there are no middlemen, no central gatekeepers. Instead, the whole thing runs on autopilot, completely powered by code. We're talking about special programs called smart contracts, and they just execute transactions automatically based on rules that, and this is key, cannot be broken.
So Section 1, finance without the banks. Okay, so what does a world without banks actually look like? In practice. Let's break down the core ideas that make this so different from everything we're used to.
It really boils down to a few powerful ideas. First off, no banks means no one to ask for permission. Simple as that. You have complete control over your own assets. Period. This setup can also open the door to much higher yields than you'd ever see in a regular savings account. And the foundation for all of this? Total transparency. Every single transaction is out there in the open, recorded on the blockchain for literally anyone to see and verify.
Section 2. Lending and borrowing reimagined. All right, let's get a bit more specific now. I mean, one of the biggest things any financial system does is lending and borrowing, right? So let's take a look at how DeFi completely flips this on its head.
So, to make this real, let's look at a platform called Aave. The easiest way to think about it is like a giant automated lending market that never sleeps. It's running 24/7. It's a place where you can lend out your crypto to other people and earn interest on it. Or you can use the crypto you already have as collateral to borrow something else.
So how does this actually work? Well, it's pretty much a two-sided market. On one side, you've got the lender. You can come along, deposit a stable digital currency, let's say USDC, and immediately start earning passive interest. So in this case, maybe 4% APY. Then on the other side, you've got the borrower. They can use that USDC that you deposited as collateral to take out a loan for a different crypto, maybe some Ethereum. And the cool part, it all happens instantly. No paperwork, no waiting. It's all managed by that smart contract code we talked about.
And what's really fascinating is just how fast this whole space moves. You get platforms like Morpho popping up. Now, Morpho isn't trying to replace Aave. It's trying to make it better. Think of it like an efficiency layer or an optimizer that sits right on top of Aave. Its job is to directly match a lender with a borrower, peer-to-peer. By cutting out that middle step, it can often squeeze out better interest rates for both sides. And it does all this while still piggybacking on the rock-solid security of the main Aave protocol.
Section 3. Investing on your own. Okay, so that's lending. But what about another huge part of finance? Investing and trading. How in the world do you swap one asset for another if there's no New York Stock Exchange, no brokerage firm to call? Well, the answer is something called a DEX, which stands for a decentralized exchange. And probably the biggest name in the game is Uniswap. It's a platform that lets you, and anyone else, swap digital tokens directly from your own crypto wallet. There's no central company holding your funds, no one in the middle approving the trades. It's just you and the code. And this is where the whole mindset really has to shift. There's this great saying, here, you don't just trade, you are the market. On a platform like Uniswap, you're not just a customer buying and selling, you can actually be the market. So how do you do that? You do it by becoming what they call a liquidity provider. So what does that even mean, become the market? Well, you can take a pair of tokens you own, let's use our example of Ethereum and USDC, and you deposit them together into a big shared pool. That pool is what other people will then use to make their trades. And here's the cool part. For providing that service, for providing that liquidity, you earn a tiny piece of the trading fees from every single swap that happens in that pool.
It's a way to earn passive income, and all the while, you never give up control of your funds.
But, and this is a really big but, all that power comes with some very unique risks. The biggest one has a weird name: impermanent loss. Now, put simply, it's the risk that the prices of the 2 tokens you deposited will move in different directions. If that happens, you could actually end up with less money in dollar terms than if you had just held onto the 2 tokens separately in your wallet. And beyond that, since anyone can create a trading pair, you have to be careful. There's always a risk that you could be interacting with a really low-quality token or even a total scam.
Section 4. The DeFi double-edged sword. And all of this really brings us to a fundamental truth about this entire world. For every single awesome benefit in DeFi, there is a flip side. There's a corresponding risk. It is truly a double-edged sword.
This table really lays out the core trade-off. Think about it. You get total control, which sounds amazing, right? But the flip side is total responsibility. If you mess up, if you send funds to the wrong address, there's no customer service line to call. There's no bank to reverse the transaction. You're on your own. You see the potential for high yields, but that comes hand in hand with high volatility. And yeah, total transparency is great, but it also means that any bug or flaw in a smart contract's code is out there for everyone to see and potentially exploit. It's a world of incredibly powerful tools, but you have to be your own safety net.
Section 5. Is this world for you? So after looking at the incredible upside and the, pretty serious risks, it all comes down to a very personal question. Is this new financial frontier for you? Based on everything we've talked about, DeFi really seems to be for a certain kind of person. It's for someone who truly wants complete and total control over their money. It's for investors who are actively looking for different ways to diversify their portfolio and maybe earn some passive returns. But, and this is the most important part, it's for experienced users, people who genuinely understand and are comfortable managing the very high risks involved. This is definitely not a space to just casually dip your toes in without doing a ton of research first.
And that brings us full circle, right back to where we started. DeFi hands you the keys to the kingdom. It gives you total control over your financial life. But that control, it comes with total, absolute responsibility. So, the final question I'll leave you with is the one we started with. Are you ready to be your own bank?